Hey, welcome to Forged in Wood. It's my series where I make historical weapons out of wood. And a couple of weeks ago, I made this spiked mace, based on a 16th century Hungarian weapon. If you haven't seen the video yet, you can go back and watch it. It's pretty interesting how it came out. And in making that video, I asked my viewers, what else should I make? What other weapons do you want to see? And one of the most popular responses was, hey, make a shield. That's a great idea. I never thought of that before. The only question is, what kind of shield should I make? And after thinking about it, I decided I'm going to make a Viking shield. Because Vikings. So you'd think, if you were going to make a shield for badass Viking combat, you'd make it out of some sort of hardwood, like oak. Turns out, that's not the way they did it. The Vikings used softwood, because they wanted something that would be lightweight and easy to swing around on the battlefield. They also wanted their shields to be springy. A springy shield is less likely to split, and if you block your opponent's blow with a springy softwood shield, his axe or whatever might get stuck in your shield. Then you can tear it out of his grasp and leave him open to being, murdered. So I decided to make my shield out of this old board of California redwood. It's strong and springy and light, and I've already got it. So I cut it, jointed it, checked it, and I don't have enough of it. So I decided to throw in a couple strips of black walnut and white ash, just to sort of give me the width that I need for the final product. Now, this construction of woods is not strictly historically accurate, but it will look cool. So once it's all glued up, I end up with this big plank right here. Now, I want the finished product to be perfectly round. I want it to be leveled out. I want to do some shaping to it. I want it to have a nice rim, and it needs to have this central detail called a boss. It's kind of shaped like a big bullet sticking out of the middle of the shield. All of these features and details lead me to a single tool, the lathe. This is my trusty Harbor Freight machine, and I have done a lot of turnings on it, including some sort of shield-shaped discs. So in theory, it's up to the challenge. Now, this lathe is built to turn things that are only 12 inches in diameter, but I can take the headstock, this part, and swivel it so the turning hangs off the side, and then I should be able to turn really, really big objects. But the question is this lathe really sturdy enough to turn a 24-inch Viking shield? Do I trust it? No, I absolutely do not. So, if that lathe isn't going to get the job done, we're going to have to go to plan B. So a couple months ago, I actually built a lathe from scratch, and it came out pretty good, but I eventually got bored with the project, and I got rid of most of the machine. But I kept one part of it. Right here is the machine's headstock. This headstock really has all the important bits of a lathe. It's got the spindle, it's got a big 3/4 horsepower motor, and I designed this countershaft system so it's got some really low and powerful speeds. Here's what I'm thinking. My workbench weighs about 200 pounds, and it's nice and sturdy. So if I bolt this thing to my workbench with the spindle end hanging over, then I'll basically have created a giant lathe, capable of turning pretty much any size object. Until that object gets so big that the whole thing flies apart and kills me, obviously. So I'm going to take my shield blank, cut it roughly round on the bandsaw, get it mounted up on this homemade monstrosity lathe idea that I have, and we'll go from there. So listen, I have done some dumb things since I started this channel, but this feels downright dangerous. I mean, look at the size of this thing. And I'm gonna turn it on a homemade lathe, C-clamped to a workbench. I haven't started this thing yet. I'm gonna do it on camera because, well, if it flies apart and destroys my shop, at least that'll be some funny footage. But I hope you don't mind if I turn it on from behind the machine. Contact! I don't know. It's steady enough. I guess. So I'm really happy with the way this shield is coming along so far. The design and the surface are all exactly what I'm looking for. Now it's time to add the details that are going to make this thing more historically accurate. The first thing I need is that boss detail that goes right in the middle of the shield. I'd like that to be made out of a pale, tight-grained wood. I want it to have a single dome shape in the middle, and then a second graceful little curve to connect the dome to the flat part of the shield. And then I want the whole thing to be sanded and polished up to a high shine. A lot like this. And then in the back, I need a little bit of a dish shape, because what's going to happen is this shield needs to have a hole right here. I'll be able to cut that while it's still on the lathe, and there'll be a handle in the middle of that hole. And the user's hand will reach into the hole, grab the handle, and then be protected by the boss, just like the Vikings did it. Now, the Vikings also would have probably put some sort of a rim around this shield. It would have been iron or maybe leather and probably attached with iron rivets. So I'm going to simulate those rivets with little pieces of light-colored dowel wood set in all around the rim. Once I've got these details worked out, I'm going to sand the whole thing, glue on the boss, and then give it a thick coat of Boat Builder's epoxy. I'll flip it around and install a handle in the back for a solid grip, and then there's nothing left to do but test it. So I'm outside in my backyard, and my wife and daughter are off camera. You guys want to say hi?
Hi!
And they've got a whole bucket full of water balloons. And what they're going to do is... Okay, all right, not yet! Just wait! Okay, that was fun. If I ever get attacked with water balloons, I'll know exactly what to grab. And I'm really having fun making these historical weapons. I want to make more of them. So if you have ideas on historical weapons I should make out of beautiful hardwoods, leave me a comment down in the description and tell me what you'd like to see. You can also share this video on social media, especially Twitter, Facebook, and Reddit. Those are places that I don't have a lot of profile, and getting more exposure is going to give me a great reason to make more of these videos. You also might have noticed I had some different music going during the turning segment of this video. That was a great track by my friend, the composer Alex Larson, and I have a link to all of his music on SoundCloud down in the description, and he very graciously gave a free MP3 download of his track to all of my patrons. They got it a couple days ago. If you'd like to get really great rewards, like music, free plans, blog posts, articles, book reviews, and all sorts of other exclusive content, go over to patreon.com/RexKruger and check out the rewards that I have only for my patrons. They're the ones who make these videos possible, and I appreciate them so much. And I just really love the fact that people watch my videos. So even if you can't be a patron or don't want to, it's great. Thanks so much for watching.